Hi, boys and girls, welcome back. Today we're going to be doing something called shorthand division. Similar to long division, however, we're just going to be doing some of the steps in our mind. We're going to be using some mental math to do this strategy. I think you might enjoy it though, because it's a lot less writing that you have to do and it takes up a whole lot less space. So let's see. We're still going to be dividing, multiplying, subtracting, and sort of bringing down. But we're going to be doing the multiplying, subtracting, and bringing down in our mind. So it's going to look a little bit different. You won't see all these steps. You're just going to have to mentally do them in your mind. So let's look at an example. So my example, I have the number 7,642 divided by 3. Notice when I wrote this, I left a lot of space between my digits. You want to make sure you leave space because we're going to be putting another digit in between. So make sure that you're spreading it out, making plenty of space as you write it. So remember, our first step is always to divide. So we're still going to look for our first number in our dividend and see if it can be divided by our divisor. So 7 can be divided by 3. So we're going to do that part in our head. I know if I have 7 and I divide it by 3, 3 can go into 7 equally 2 times and it will have 1 left over because 3 times 2 is 6 and I need 1 more to make 7. So this is the part where we're doing it mentally in our head. That's taking out of the multiplying and the subtracting that we're used to doing. So my 2 is still going to go above my 7 in my dividend. The difference is, though, my remainder, that's my 1. That's the number I would have gotten if I had subtracted 7 minus 6. So that's where my remainder is coming from. I'm now going to write my remainder right in front of the next number in my dividend. So I'm going to write it right in front of a little bit below. So now it's right here. Then I'm going to circle that remainder and the next number in the dividend. Those two numbers are going to make up my new digit that I'm dividing by. So now I'm going to have 16 divided by 3. So I know 3 can go into 16 5 times with 1 left over. So again, my 5 is going to go above my 6. And my 1, my remainder, is going to go in front of the next number in my dividend. So now, just like before, I'm going to circle that number, the 1 and the 4, which will give me 14. Now 14 is going to be divided by 3. And 3 can go into 14 4 times, this time with 2 left over, because 3 times 4 is 12. Then I need 2 more. So again, my 4 will go above the 4. And my remainder of 2 will go in front of the next number in the dividend. And just like before, I'm going to circle those 2 digits, and I have now my number 22. So now it's time to divide out 22 divided by 3. So I'll write my equation, 22 divided by 3. I know that 3 times 7 is 21, so 22 divided by 3 will be 7 with a remainder of 1. Again, I'm going to write my 7 above the 2. Now, I have nowhere else to write my remainder. There's no additional numbers to divide by. And just like I would have done in long division, I'm going to take that number that's left over, and that's going to be my remainder. So I'm going to add that to the top. So my answer would be 2,547 with a remainder of 1. Let's look at one more example. This time I have 4,923 divided by 6. So I'm first going to start by looking at the 4 and say, can 4 be divided by 6? 4 is less than 6, so it will not work. So then, just like before, I have to look at the number, put the next 2 digits together to make the number 49. So now I'm going to do 49 divided by 6. Knowing my multiples, I know 6 can go into 6 times 8 is 48. So 49 divided by 6 would be 8 with a remainder of 1 because I would have to add 1 more on. My 8 will go above the 9. and my remainder 1 will go in front of the next digit in my problem, which is a 2. Again, I'm going to circle those 2 digits. And my new equation, sorry, it popped through there, but my new equation would be 12 divided by 6. And 12 divided by 6 is 2. This time, 6 times 2 is 12, so there's no remainder. I'm just simply going to write my 2 above. This time, since there's no remainder, there's nothing else to write here. So I'm just going to keep the number that is in my problem, which is a 3. And I'm going to have 3 divided by 6. I know a lot of kids get confused with this and they would think the answer is 2 because 3 times 2 equals 6. But you have to look carefully. This is saying that 3 can be broken up into 6 groups. 3 cannot be divided by 6 because it is a smaller number. So the answer would be 0. I'll put my 0 above. But I still have my number 3 here. If we have a 0, whatever number is left over now becomes my remainder. So I'll have a remainder of 3. So in this equation, my answer would be 820 with a remainder of 3. So remember, we're still going to be dividing and then multiplying and subtracting in our head. And then if there's a number left over, we're going to call that our remainder. So we can still do our song, divide, multiply, subtract, bring down. I hope that you liked this and found it very helpful. Please click like below if you enjoyed this video and subscribe for more math lessons from the Math Maniac.